So we got three major video game movies coming out next year. We got Super Mario Galaxy the movie, Mortal Kombat 2, and Street Fighter. The one I was looking forward to the most is Mortal Kombat 2 because we were supposed to get that in October 2025 this past month, but it got delayed to next year. Um, Having Johnny Cage as the main protagonist opposed to Liu Kang, I think is I don't know. I'm gonna give it a chance because Johnny Cage is like one of the most popular characters in the entire Mortal Kombat franchise. A lot of people I think have gotten sick of Liu Kang because they think he's just boring outside of his move set and all that stuff. Um, the thing that I'm the thing about like the Mortal Kombat 2 movie that kind of makes me you know, skeptical in terms of how good it's going to be is the fact that Johnny Cage, he's more serious than he is a comedy character because for the most part he's been a comedy character in like older Mortal Kombat games and you know television shows and movies and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess like the main plot's the same. The whole battle for Earthrealm and the Outworld deal with Shao Kahn being the main villain. Um, with Street Fighter, I don't think I've seen a trailer for that just yet, but I do know there's going to be like top level actors in this film, so I have pretty high hopes for that. And this is going to be the first major Street Fighter film that we've gotten since The Legend of Chun Li from 2009, and it's crazy to think that's been over a decade since we've gotten a Street Fighter film on the big screen. Super Mario Galaxy, I actually saw the trailer. I want to say about a week ago. I was impressed by what I saw. Looks like it's going to be a worthy follow up to the Super Mario Brothers movie that we got back in 2023, which did over $1 billion in terms of box office revenue and all that stuff. I feel like that film is going to end up being the one that probably does the best in terms of box office draw. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. I think it really depends on who you are because it's something that's subjective, and it really depends on what particular video game franchise you're a fan of. And then in 2027, we're supposed to be getting the Sonic 4, aka the Sonic CD movie, and I think that's like the only major film from that year that's supposed to be coming out in 2027. But as far as 2026 is concerned, I feel like it's going to be a blockbuster year for video game movies. As far as video games themselves, I don't know. I feel like 2026 is going to be just about average. We're finally going to get GTA 6 among other games supposed to be coming out next year, but yeah, we got like three highly anticipated titles coming out in box office, next year, and I honestly feel like these IPs, they've all been around forever. Like Mario's been around since the '80s. Street Fighter's been around since technically since the late '80s because the first game came out in 1987. Mortal Kombat's been out since the early '90s. So these are all old IPs, and I feel like all of them should have had more movies like in theaters than they already have. But you got to remember, like the older like films that we've gotten, each of these like franchises back in the '90s were not as good, or they were so bad that people, um, reminisce about them in a positive way because of how hilariously bad they were. But I don't think that's going to be the case with these upcoming films. Um, I think all these films are going to be box office successes and all that stuff. And hopefully, I'm not jinxing things, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to like the whole like the stories for each film and like the art direction and the stories that are being told and how it's done in a modern fashion. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't wait to see all three of these films at some point, whether it be like through streaming or whether it be in theaters. Hopefully, it's in theaters, but yeah, I guess like if you're an adult, you're probably looking more towards like Mortal Kombat as far as being the most anticipated video game movie of next year. If you're a child or if you're just a longtime fan of Nintendo and the Mario series, you'll probably be a huge fan of Mario. Street Fighter, I feel like the Street Fighter franchise is actually more popular now than it was like, like 20, 25 years ago, and, and I still feel like for the most part, depending on how the execution goes, it's something that's going to be a box office hit.